Marty Schwartz here, guitarjams.com again. But what I would say to get going, if you're a beginner and you want to know a little bit more about theory, the first thing, especially for guitar, is you want to kind of memorize the low E and the A strings up and down the neck. That's going to be really important. The next step, I mean, besides just playing and having fun, but for the theory, the next step would be to kind of start grasping what are called intervals. An interval is how two different notes sound together, the sound that they make. And so the thing I'm going to focus on now, I'm going to show you a really cool little chord technique that are basically just based off of the 4 bar chord shapes. And the main interval I'm talking about are called thirds. There's a thing called a major third. And that's the building block of a major chord. The other kind of third is called a minor third, and that's the building block of a minor chord. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you a couple of really cool little chord ideas that you can mess around with that guys like Dave Matthews use a lot. You've heard it in some classic Chili Pepper songs. You've heard it in Blackbird by the Beatles. The list goes on, but this is a really cool trick if you're kind of in a rut and you're bored with, like you're writing a tune and it's bar chords and you're kind of sick of it. You can mess around with this little technique and get some fresh ideas. So anyway, let's zoom in and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, there's things called keys. So I'm going to take the key of G, which if you're working on those bar chords, the chords are G major, A minor, so there's no middle finger there, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, and then a weird kind of F sharp minor, back to G. Now it doesn't, if you do it with the roots on the A string, you've got G major right there, A minor right here, then we're going to have to go down here to B minor, then we're going to go C major, then we're going to go D major, then we're going to go E minor, and then this weird thing, which we're not going to worry about for right now, back to G. So that's the key of G with the bar chords on the root of the E string, and then also the bar chords on the root of the A string. And the key just means those chords all come from the same pool of notes, the same DNA, which is called a scale, the G major scale. Those are the only notes in different combinations that make up all those bar chords I played. So they're all related. They're like a family. Okay? Now check this out. If I just took a G major to an A minor to a B minor to a C. There's multiple notes inside that chord. And what I'm going to show you, and like I said before, someone like Dave Matthews and, Chili Pepper songs, Beatles, there's so many others, but those are just some of the guys I was thinking of when I thought of this lesson. Instead of playing the full chord, which is it's a full six string chord here, what we can do is that we can actually take some of the notes out and just play that interval, that third interval that I talked about in the intro here. And let me show you what it is. You got a root, and that third interval from this bar chord is where that middle finger is on this chord. So what I'm going to do, instead of playing the whole chord, I'm actually just going to play that root and that major third up here. Oops, let's see if I reach it here. But there's some technical things we have to do with our left hand to pull it off. And here's what we're going to do. Our index finger is actually going to mute all the strings except for that note, and this G string here. So when you strum it, you can hear that I'm hearing that, and then these are muted. And that's a different, that might give you a different, it's a different sound, obviously. Now on acoustic or electric, it's kind of cool because you get that percussive sound of those muted strings. Now let's go up to this A minor. A minor chord has a minor third. So when you play the minor third off the E root, it's not a half step higher anymore, it's actually on the same fret. So we're going to use all that same technique. We're going to play the 5th fret of the low E string and the 5th fret of the G string, and then my index finger is muting the rest of the string, so you get this sound. Instead of and it just has a different quality to it that you can use if you like it, or to mix up. If you're getting sick of the bar chord sound, you can do something and have a new little sound. So watch this. This is also cool if one guitar player or piano player or any other instrument is playing like a full chord. Another guitar player could play this kind of voicing. And now you've kind of got a ensemble sound, or orchestrated sound. Okay, let's keep going. We got G major, A minor. The next chord's B minor, so you just move it up a whole step. The next chord's C major, so we move it up a half step. But now that has to be a major third right here. D major is that up a whole step, and then E minor has that minor third interval. Then we've got that weird chord, but we can, when we're only doing the third interval, it's a root and a minor third. So right now my index finger's on the 14th fret of the low E, and my middle finger's on the 14th fret of the G. Now here's where it gets kind of cool though, when we do that third interval with the root on the A string. So the G, and this is straight from Blackbird actually, he's adding a little octave open G in there, but and so what I'm doing is I've got my index finger on the 10th fret of the A, and my ring finger on the 12th fret of the B. My index finger is muting the top low E string here, and it's also muting the rest of the strings too. That's going to probably be the trickiest part about it. So we got that. That's how we play the G major, the root, and the major third with the root on the A string. And you can see it comes straight from this. So we're just playing this kind of bar chord, but we're taking away some of the notes. Okay, A minor, move that up a whole step, so that's an A note right there. The minor third interval is going to be middle finger a half step up from that root on the B string. So my middle finger's on the 13th fret of the B, my index finger's on the 12th fret of the A. I'm keeping my index finger on that root no matter where I go. So if it's a minor, it's that middle finger a half step, and if it's major, it's the ring finger a whole step higher. So watch this. We got G major, we got A minor, we could go all the way up here for B minor, but it's also right here, B. C major is a half step up, and it's major. D major, E minor, F sharp minor flat 7 is what it's called. We can just look at it as a minor interval here. Back to G. So watch, when I combine those voicings with the root on the E string and the root on the A string, now you have some options.